What is good, guys? It is Reed and welcome back to a dope video. Today I got an awesome trick for you guys. I think pretty much the first of its kind on my channel. It is going to be a card to box. Now this is a very special card to box. This is one I call street card to box, and simply because it's very practical, very easy, and great for anytime, anywhere, standing up in the hands, street performing card to box, which a lot of card to boxes require a table or require some kind of a gimmick or something difficult, but this is very practical, all about being able to perform out there in the real world, which is my favorite magic to do. So this is a great effect. Street card to box, you know, you can do this anytime, anywhere. I've got two variations on it. I'm going to teach you one that uses the auto index, the out in the open index, which is something that a lot of people really loved, and so I'm glad, and I want to show you how there's so many different applications of it. And in this, we're going to learn how to use it as sort of a vanish, which is really neat and something I use all the time. One of the strongest things you can do with it. I use that in some awesome sandwich effects I'm going to teach eventually. I use that in this. I'm going to show you a couple different versions of this effect that I use, and you can obviously come up with your own. If you haven't seen the auto index video, make sure you go check that out because it's very important for this. Besides learning some cool other principles and other uses for that, you're also going to learn a pretty cool little move, a little cleanup move, I would say, using the gambler's cop. That's super neat, so I think you guys will like that a lot. And this also borrows a little card to box move from Madison as well, something that is definitely inspired from him. So this is just an awesome one. I know you guys are gonna love it. I really appreciate you guys for all the support and coming along, and you know, if you like these kind of videos, make sure you drop me a like, and I'll keep them coming. So without any further ado, let's get into the performance. All right, guys, so I'm going to show you the OG version of this effect for the performance. So for this, I need a card selected. It can be any card, of course. Keep in mind, they can actually shuffle the deck, they can sign this card, and then of course I want them to remember it. So let's imagine they take it, they sign it, they remember that card, and then we leave it somewhere in the middle of the deck just like that, and we can of course give it a shuffle many times as we want. Now we need a second card, as sort of like a placeholder card. Now the identity of this card doesn't matter. Let's say they choose this one, they can choose any one, of course, but like I said, they don't have to remember it, the identity doesn't matter, nothing like that. But I want them to take the box, and they can look inside the box, see it's completely empty, they can inspect it as long as they want, and in their hands, they're going to take the card, place that placeholder card inside the box, they see it going inside, and seal it up. Now we're going to try something pretty incredible, pretty magical. I want them to take the box, and they're going to just shake it. Now, of course, they can only begin the magic, and I need them to begin it, but as a magician, I'm going to have to finish it, of course. But I just want them to shake it, and just start shaking it, and just sort of imagine. I want them to imagine that card inside that box starting to morph, starting to change into a completely different card. Just keep shaking it, and imagine it changing. Now I think you've done it. So let me see that. Hand me the box. We're going to trade. I'll take the box. They'll take the deck here, and I'm just going to keep shaking it and keep shaking it. Just for a moment, imagine it changing. Imagine it, you know, completely changing into a different card. Okay, I think we've done it here. Let me see. If I take the box here, open it up. Let's see how we did. Well, we'll see here. You got one card here. For the first time, what was the name of your card? The 9 of clubs. And just like that, nothing else inside. We have the signed 9 of clubs inside the box. Alright guys, so time for the breakdown. I hope you liked that effect. It's a pretty neat effect, pretty cool. It's hard to show on camera, there's a lot more cover in the real world, but it's a really awesome trick. It's not too hard, and I really love it. So that's the OG version, the original version there. So how that works, step one, you can have the deck, you know, truly shuffled. This is a regular deck of cards. We're just using a couple sleights here, and you can even have the card signed. You can generally have it signed because there's no duplicates. It is the actual card. So you're gonna have the spectator select any card that they want. Let's say, of course, they choose the Jack of Hearts in this case. Now you want to choose a selection process that feels extremely fair. I would usually, show them the faces of the card and say pick one out that you like, and then I'd have them sign it to make it unique. And I think card to box is really nice if you can make it unique, so it actually proves that it's the same card. We are going to need to control this card to the bottom of the deck. So I want you to be mindful when you're choosing the control you want to use for this effect, that it's a control where you don't get to see the card at any point. I think this effect's really strong if you don't know what the card is as they sign it and put it back. Now it's not 100% necessary for this version because as you take it out, it's going to be towards you first, but I just like the idea that you don't ever know what the card is. So I think it's important to keep in mind. And the control that I use is going to be the single card straddle pass for this, because that allows a signed card that they handle, they sign, to be taken back, placed fairly in the middle, and then controlled to the bottom. So all I do is I take that card back, I place it in the middle, or I spread and I say, here, just put your card in somewhere in the middle, but leave it sticking out a little bit. So they leave it sticking out, and I say, look, I just want you to see that it's there. Now I close up and I say, and you see me push it into the middle of the deck just like that. And I square up and I've controlled it to the bottom. So go check out my straddle pass video if you would like to learn that control. But essentially, I'm just pushing through and straddling the card underneath the deck, and that happens very, very quickly. They sign it, they return the card, boom, I control it to the bottom. If I want, I give it a few false shuffles. Now at this point, you say, we're gonna use a placeholder card. It doesn't matter the identity, so just pick any one you want. So they pick out a card, and obviously it can't be their card, but their card's on the bottom, so you should be good there. If they happen to pick their card, you just, of course, tell them to pick a different one. Now what's nice is, you take the box out of your pocket, or you already have them holding on to it. If you just took the deck out of the box, I'd actually just hand them the box and say, hold on to that, we'll get back to it in a second. Now I tell them to place the card inside the box and seal it up, inspect it, make sure there's nothing else in there. And I think that's important to emphasize. And they place the card in. Now it doesn't matter which way they place it, there will be a slight discrepancy, but it's not something that the spectator will ever remember or notice. So I mean, the best way is that they place the back facing the big flap, but again, doesn't matter. We'll do it the opposite way, just because you'll see it, like no one's gonna remember, and they seal it up and close it. Now, you're gonna need a reason in a second that you're gonna take the deck back. So the reason I use is I say, I'm the magician, so I am gonna have to complete the magic, but you can actually start it in this case. I actually need you to. So what I want you to do is just hold the deck and start shaking it so you can hear the card rattling in there. So now they'll be there shaking it, and this gives you all the misdirection to set up for a gambler's cop. So there's a few ways for the gambler's cop here. The easier ways would be to get a break under that card. So you just riffle off the card with a thumb, and then you get a pinky break above it. And then as they're focused on shaking the box, at some point while the deck's in your hand, you pull that card back into gambler's cop, right? You pull it back like this, then come forward, so you're set. Then you can just stay like this for a while. You don't need to do it too early, because if there's other people around, you don't want to be too exposed if you don't need to be. I also like to transfer the break to this hand, hold it in this hand for a while, which is one of my preferred ways, because now you can be like this for a long time, and then when you're ready to do the switch, you can just come like this, quickly do that exchange and give them the deck. And you don't have it in the cop until the very last minute, so it's less time in the cop. Or what I often do is just the one-handed gambler's cop. So you take your nail and you just kick back the one card off the bottom, right? So you just boop, pull it back, and then you drop the deck in your hand, and now it's dropped into gambler's cop, and you can take the deck away. So those are a few different options. If you need to check out my gambler's cop video, go check that out, because that'll help you get this move down if you need, or any of the moves I'm teaching in this video, or going over in this video, I should say. What you do, you have all the time in the world, so I'd probably get a thumb break under their selection and hold it over here, being careful not to flash it, as I'm walking them through the process of shaking the box and imagining and visualizing this card changing into a different one. Now I say, all right, we need to switch. So I want you to hold on to the deck, and I'm gonna bring the hands together, deposit this card into cop, and if you're brave and there's no one else around, you can hand the deck out and say, here, you take the deck. Now they'll take it away and they can't see anything. That's a really nice subtlety if you have the environment to get away with it. Or I'll just say, here, you hold on to the deck, and I'll give this to their empty hand, and I say, and I need the box for a second to finish this off. So now think about this in standing. This isn't really a trick for table. So standing, this card's gonna be at your side and all the attention is gonna be here. And that's why this effect works so nicely. So you have the card copped, but it's at your side here, and you say, look, I want you to, just keep visualizing it changing and changing. You want to make sure now that the back of the box is towards you and the front is towards them. So in other words, the flap is on their side, right? Facing away from you. So you just shake and shake and shake. And when you're ready, you're going to take that, and this is kind of Madison's move here. You're going to take it and just put it up into the hand. So this is the angle you're sort of at when you do this. Because if you place it flat, there's a big chance you'll flash, right? Because you come like that. So you place it up to the top of your hand. So it's just kind of resting between the thumb and the index like this, and the card's way down here. And that's all you really need. So you come from here with the fingers at the corner, and you're just gonna place it up in like that. And you can see how discrepant this is, but we'll fix that in a second. You'll see how it's really nice. So again, you're just going to set this sort of in the crotch of the thumb, resting on the middle finger with the thumb clipping it on top. So you just say, watch, I'm going to take the box, let's see how we did here. And you're just transitioning it into here. You just bring the hand up casually and you place it in like this. And it's really nice. All the attention's on the box and you place it up like that. Now you can't see this from the front, and you're going to pull this open. Now when you pull this open, it's very important you bend it back really far for the cleanup. You really need this to be completely out of the way. You see how all the flap's out of the way, and if you just opened it a bit, it might be curled down in front, and that's bad. So for the cleanup at least. So you need it up all the way. You just bend it back and do the same thing with the sides. You're opening the sides and you're bending it so it's definitely out of the way. So you have this nice big opening. Okay, now here's where the discrepancy is, because obviously if we take the card out like this, you know, it should be the other way, but by this time, definitely no one is remembering that, right? What you're gonna do is, as you're gonna put the thumb underneath the card and the index finger inside and kind of pull them together like this. You could also, you know, drop the box into the hand, but I think if we're already here, we might as well, and they can't tell the difference at all where that card came from. All you're doing is you're coming here and you're pulling them together, and then you're pulling this up. Don't pull it, you know, down and away, because down and away looks like it came from somewhere, but as long as you pull it up, it looks like it's coming out of the box, right? So you go like this, you pull it up and out of the box like that. So again, from that point, you come in, you say, all right, let's open this up. You bend this back, you say, all right, let me just get this nice and open here. And the nice thing about this flap is you can tuck it behind the fat of the thumb here. So you open it, let's see if you can see this, open it and tuck it behind the fat of the thumb. This one you just need to make sure is bent out of the way, and this one's bent out of the way. So, you know, take your time here. There's no real rush. You're kind of building suspense, but you're also setting up for the cleanup. So you take the box, you bring the hand up, you place it in. I'll say, all right, let's see if this will work. Bend that one, tuck this one behind the fat of the thumb. Now I have a nice big opening, and I'm just gonna come in, put the thumb underneath and pull it up to the top. So I come in and I say, let's see how you did here. Take this out. One thing to be careful of is that you don't come out to the side and it looks like it melts through the box. So just make sure you come up straight. Now this is nice because the back is facing us. There's going to be a lot of anticipation here, and this is how we're going to, you know, get set for the cleanup. So now I say, huh, it worked. I just have a bit of a reaction, and I hand them the card. I don't even turn it around. I hand it to them facing this way. So they're gonna grab it right from the top and instantly, well, it'll be like this to them, right? If I'm them and you're the camera, the magician, they'll take it from the top and flip it like this and look at it. That is all the time in the world where they're checking all the attentions here because they haven't even seen it. So obviously, they haven't seen it, they don't know if it's worked, so much attention is going to be there, it's going to give you so much time to clean up. So they grab the card from you, the second they grab the card, you do the move, and the box is empty. And you're copying away the card. So you can see how smooth that was. All it is, it's really neat. Basically what you're doing, it's hard to show here, but you're dumping the card, catching it in a cop as you show it empty. Okay? So from the side, I'm sure that looks pretty neat. But at sort of a speed, you just come like this and you show the box empty, and this hand has nothing in it, but it's really copped away. So there's an advanced version and an easier version. The advanced version is where you do it in one motion and you just go through and you just catch it. Now, obviously you run the risk then of not catching it and the card falling all the way through, but with some practice, you can just catch it as you come forward and you show it like that, and it's really smooth. The grip, you just grip the box at the end in the hand, tilt it back, and the card, because there's nothing in the way, right, because you've got everything out of the way, right, with the flaps, the card will just slide back along your hand. As it slides down, you catch it at about where you want it. In a gambler's cop, you can catch it up higher or lower. If you catch it high though, you'll flash, so just catch it in a comfortable spot. I can pretty much catch it in about the same spot every time, right, so it's my comfortable gambler's cop position. And I do that as I come away, and now I bring all the attention to the empty box, right? So while I'm doing the load, all their attention's on the card, and then the second they get bored of the card, all the attention's on the box as my hand comes to my pocket and is gonna ditch that other card. The easier version of this, which I would recommend you start with, and I used to do this, is you're gonna use your pinky as a net, I would say. Right, so what happens is the card falls out and it's just going to hit your pinky, and you're going to come away in sort of a high cop like this, and now you can catch the card and you're going to push it back with the index into the proper cop. So that's going to be, it's like 2 stages. So it is a bit slower, but again, you have so much time delay that it's fine. So it looks like this, right? So I talked about making adjustments to a gambler's cop in my gambler's cop video. For this one, all you're doing is instead of keeping the hand flat so the card falls past the pinky like that, you're going to move the pinky in the way. So now the card's going to hit it, right? So now all you're doing is you're just dumping the card out onto the pinky. And what I would recommend is as you hit the pinky, you just come forward, do the adjustment, and then when you're adjusted, you turn the box, right? So you're coming, boom, kick it back with the index, and you come forward once that's done. So the kicking back part, it's because it's going to be high. So if you try to gambler's cop it, you're going to be like here, which is like completely wrong. This is going to be flashed. So you catch it with the pinky, then you move the pinky out of the way, right? And that's just from here to here, move the pinky from the back to the side, kick it back with the index, and then re-grip it with the hand, and now you're in a nice, comfortable gambler's cop. So this one at speed, you'll see it's a bit slower, but it's just kind of like this. Boom, and I still got it into a comfortable position. You just have to pause an extra second as you come forward with the box to make the adjustment, and then you show. Another thing you can do if you're a bit worried about, too much heat is as you come out and get it into gambler's cop, instead of coming away, you come over and re-grip it with this hand, show it's empty, and then hand it out and put this in the pocket. But I think you kind of lose that moment of them actually looking at the box, inspecting it, to ditch the card, right? Because now you've shown them it's empty. Now when you hand it to them, they've already seen it's empty, so they don't need as much attention on here, and they might, see you go to your pocket. To show you standing how it kind of looks, I have the box here, I load it, and I show it as I turn the body, right? So the hand comes behind. That's when I do the ditch, so it's kind of out of view, and then I come back clean. And another thing you can do if you do the easier way, when you have the card here, before you've made the adjustment, you can already start to sort of come back, and because of the speed, you can make the adjustment on the way to your pocket and save some time there. So that kind of would look like this, right? You come boom, and then you show and you ditch. And again, you just need to remember, as you come here, turn your body, now your hand's kind of out of view. And obviously the box and everything would be up higher. I'm kind of bent down for the camera, but everything would all be up higher, so you even have more of a distance between. I'll just quickly cover the gambler's cop aspect and the load and the cleanup. So there's a card in the box, you have their card, gambler's cop, face down in your hand. You shake it, this is resting at your side, you bring the hand up as the box comes in with the flap facing up, and now from the exposed view, you lift this, bend it back, lift this flap, bend it, lift this flap, bend it good, and you can even tuck it behind the thumb here, right? Tuck it back in there. And this card, you can see the angle, there's a big angle, it's not all the way up here, because as you come in to grab it, you're sticking the finger in the box, the thumb underneath, and then you pull up, and you pull up, up, and out, and that looks like it comes out of the box. Now you turn this upwards, bring a lot of attention here, and you say, looks like it worked. Here, you take a look. They snatch it out of your hands to look at it. Bring this hand back. Now the box is wide open, so you drop this card straight into gambler's cop, or you drop it onto the pinky, so you don't worry about it falling. Right, the easier version, you drop it onto the pinky, don't worry about it falling, and then you can make the adjustment. Or the more advanced version, you just drop it straight into a cop and catch it. And you do that as this hand is taking the box from the edge, flipping it bookwise to show, and this hand just casually comes to the side. As all the attention's here, you're going to turn your body as you're handing this out, ditch the card in the pocket, and you are completely clean. So that is my street card to box, guys. Something I've been doing for a long time, something I absolutely love. I love this sort of imagination card idea. Let me know what you guys like. Let me know if you like the little ditch move, the cleanup move. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Make sure you drop a like on this video. If you want some help with any of these moves or any other moves, send me an email, rfsleights@gmail.com, and we will get a lesson going, private lesson. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I want to welcome all the new subscribers, and don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.